Ngisatesha ngale Kingsley, trying to take it easy, climbing up this chimney. But everybody envy, Khalek Batla Bentley with everybody friendly. It's the jazz music, the ordinary Taz music. Get 'em cool, loose bluesing, whatever you going through, snooze it and lose it. The jazz music, the ordinary. Yo, what's up? It's Tapotladi, your boy Pro J. This is another episode of Into the Rabbit Hole. First things first, man. Always shout out to the Hop. Shout out to Pages Abdul for the art pieces that he keeps pulling through. Check him out on Instagram, Facebook. Speak to the brother, get a piece, get something, you know what I mean? Yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification, comment, give us your views, give us your insights. And yeah, today I'm sitting with Sbuda, Jester, MMCDV. Representing the 1804. It's about music, it's about personal journeys, it's about growth, it's about sharing. And without further ado, let me introduce the man himself as introducing myself, you know what I mean? What's up?
What's good, nigga, bro? What's good, nigga, bro?
Easy.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Abangangazi kama Sbusiso Nkabinde. This is the fun. But anyways, awangaziyo angiqonyana umcuso umphondle kaNdlolothi umabele emadafuya owafuya ngofuya inkabi. Ongcilisa ingane ipheshiya komfula. Ugama umboyisa usiwe.
Uthibele lifika ngale.
Uyangithola nazo. But yeah, I go by the stage name with Jester, MMCDV. Please let's pronounce it right. Aksu MMCDV. MMCDV.
Where does that come from? Jester, MMCDV.
Okay. So
sounds like Roman numerals, bro.
It actually is. So Jester basically means joker. So it came off when I was at high school. I was usually a class clown cracking jokes and shit.
Yeah.
So instead of naming myself Joker, because there was already a Joker, there's plenty of them. So I was like, what's the next best thing? Jester.
And it's stuck.
Jester stuck. It's nice, short and sweet. I started off with a very weird name actually, Vini Vincenzo. Abangaziyo, they know there was a name I had before.
Vini what?
Vini Vincenzo.
Who's Vini Vincenzo? Like, where does that come from?
I have no
Italian,
idea.
Spanish?
I don't know. It just sounded nice. It was provocative.
Vini Vincenzo.
Vini Vincenzo.
Chesco.
Yeah.
Sesco.
But it was weird, so I had to change it, and then I got something short and sweet. It was Jester. And then Jester sounded too common. Because when you go on Spotify or Instagram or anywhere, there's so many Jesters that pop up. So I was like, okay, let me add a touch of me in there. Hence, MMCDV.
Okay, what's M? 50?
No, MM is 224, if I'm not mistaken.
224?
No, it's 24 in Roman figures.
So M is 12?
It's 24, it's 2,400 actually, if it's double M word.
2,400?
Yes. So if we put it all into perspective, MMCDV, that's 24, and then 0 doesn't have a Roman figure, so it's just blank. And then CDV is just at 05, because the 5 is V. So it's just that MMCDV 2405 24 May. That's my birth date.
2005?
No. 24 May. May is the 5th month, so yeah. But for the curious heads out there, I was born in 2001. So I'm still a young blood as well.
Oh, of course. Better my 2Ks.
Of course.
So where's Sbuda from?
So, okay. So Sbusiso, all I saw it. He was born and bred in Soweto. Yes, I do have origins in KZN, but I was born and bred here in Soweto. Born at Para, Chris Hani Paragonat Hospital.
Oh, of course.
And
Academic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was brought here. I was brought up here actually in Soweto. Spent most of my life here. Still live here with my mom, my younger sister, and etc. But yeah, that's where I was born. This is where I've been living. I keep rapping 1804. Hopefully till I die. Or till I die. Yeah, this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
Of course.
So Jester Nkabinde. Well, is that a stage name? Is that nickname? Is it just a creativity thing? Are you a painter? Nkabinde.
Okay, so Jester is my stage name. I'm actually a hip hop artist, a rapper actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So I chose Jester because it's nice, it's catchy, and it's easy to pronounce for most people, regardless of ethnicity,
Jester.
whatever. I know Jester, great.
Jester.
It's fine. I accept it.
Yeah.
So I'm a rapper. I'm a hip hop artist. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. I actually started back in primary, I think grade 6 if not 7.
Which primary school?
Benya Observatory East Primary School, not far from Eastgate. That was my primary school.
Yeah, shout out Observatory. Yeah,
Shout out Observatory. Under at that time it was under a principal who was Miss I keep forgetting her name. But she was very sweet and she was Afrikaner.
Yeah, yeah.
She was sweet but strict. But anyways, her deputy was Miss Erasmus, who was, by the way, my grade 1 teacher.
Okay.
So fast forwarding grade 6 and 7, between grade 6 and 7, that's why I started with poetry actually. Bengenza, not your amazing poetry, but it was just like a form of expression for myself.
Sure.
For a person who's always had anger issues and stuff. So I was writing poetry to ease that off, basically. You know.
The anger issues.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? Like, where do they stem from? It seems like you're embracing them. Is it something you're dealing with? Is it something you've dealt with, or is it something you're still in works with? What's happening? What's around that?
Okay, so with the anger issues, a smart rapper once said, I won't say a smart man, a smart rapper once said, you embrace your demons because they make you who you are. So I've embraced my demons, which are my anger issues. The good thing about it is that I believe I have it under control. And I say I believe because not everyone will agree with me. So I believe I have it under control.
Yeah, yeah.
For the fact you I don't express my anger by raising my hand at a woman or anything else. Yebo ngiyashayana, but with the reason I'm managing swell abantu.
The one the mentality le show ukuthi amazulu adinga cleansing as a whole.
Nah, not even.
Ushayela, wow, maybe ushaya. Just watch, keep quiet and just keep it moving.
No, project. Yazi umuntu mekugcoba awumana uthule bese axolisi. No, kumele ukumkhuze. Mengakhuzi ngomlomo faka isibhakela.
No, fair enough.
But yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
instead of me raising my hand at people most of the time, I just chose to put it onto a paper. Got a pen and a paper and did my thing, a poetry. And then moving from poetry, grade 7 actually, we had a little play nyananje. So I went upstage. That's where I started my first actually performance. My first performance was grade 7, performing in front of the stage. It was very hard because then I was young, number 1. Number 2, I had to recite my lyrics and know them off by heart because I can't get up there with a paper.
With the paper, sure.
So
it was like a legit performance.
a legit performance. I had all my friends and
speech.
schoolmates there. Sort of like a speech, yeah.
Yeah.
I got up there, did my thing. It was nice. People enjoyed it. We laughed about it, fed them. And then I moved on to a beat poetry.
Okay.
So beat poetry was basically me infusing my poetry with beats. Sounded nice. I liked it. And then I moved with it. And then eventually started off with music then. That was then moving on to my high school years. That's when I started.
Let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Your music, who's inspired it? Why hip hop? Why ngayenza umpaqanga? Why ngayenza maskandi? Why ngayenza gospel? Yeah. So the influences and the reason why you chose hip hop.
Okay. So the reason I chose hip hop it was because that's the easiest form for me to express myself in.
Especially coming from a poetry
especially coming from a poetry background where I never got used to writing poetry ngolimi lasekhaya ngesiZulu. So I did it in English, hence it was easy for me to transition from my poetry onto hip hop. Gospel, ngikhule ngisesontweni ngenkani. So I never really embraced that thing ukuthi okay ngisesontweni, maybe join a choir type shit. So that's why I never did gospel. Umpaqanga wona ngikhule ngawamameli ke into engilongikhula nayo ke starting from high school khanithi ngimamela mhlawumbe umaskandi into ezinjalo. So I chose hip hop because that's how I learned how to express myself in. So the fast rhyming, especially the rhyming of words and finding weird words that won't usually rhyme and just putting it together there and making it sound good. But yeah, that's
the most influential artist. Who were you listening to at the time? You're speaking about fast rhymes, you're speaking about You referencing people's lyrics.
And bending words and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, whom I listen to the most, my influences basically, first things first, I'll give it to him. Mr. Eminem the GOAT.
Oh, of course,
That was my first influence. After Eminem, of course, I needed to come back into South Africa. And then back then, the Konabo, there was Casper, there was Stogie Team, there was...
Casper with the ponytail.
Casper with the ponytail. I love Manja card. He's still nice, but I know Lama ponytail. Also, I found a dope rapper whom I never knew before. And then Kazengai was that he had a whole city behind his back. Youngster CPT. That by far was my biggest influence in South African music. Regardless of what AKA and Casper and all these other artists were pushing at that time, Youngster CPT was my biggest. So
was it the aggression? Was it the lyricism? Was it because he's got his whole hood behind him?
It was everything. Even the attitude towards hip hop, how he came into it, it was nice. And the way he pronounced his words, it was authentic to him because he had that colored accent.
Sure.
So grimy, he would pronounce his R's so you hear them. No.
Adding a twang, he did what he knows best.
At first, he had a couple of songs where he used an American accent. But he saw that didn't work for him, so he had to embrace his coloredness.
Yeah.
So that's where he started going into hip-hop with his colored attitude. And I think that's the reason why I liked him more. Back then, when he released his freestyles, like Abo, Running Lines freestyle, I used to listen to that song actually during my high school years, Nsamba Ngetrain. My mom doesn't know this, but now you know. Nsamba Ngetrain, I used to listen to Running Lines. And there was, I love that freestyle. Youngster, if you get to see this one day, it's Youngster CPT.
Yeah.
If he gets to see this sometime, just know my guy. There was all you there.
Maybe I was ignorant at the time, but I only think I started listening to Youngster, I come to my Gasi. Or...
That was later then.
So you know him from his come out.
Yeah.
Oh.
About Running Lines, The Mother City, about why, kids. All those songs. Yeah, so he was my biggest influence. And then internationally, it was Eminem. And then I got introduced to the likes of your Joyner Lucas, your Lil Wayne, the Tory Lanez. Yeah, all those cats.
Aware. Before we get any further, today I'm dressed by Stoner. This is done by Vibe Steez. Hit up my boy Teezy and Tizana. They'll hook you up.
So I'm just by the Hop today. Just by the Hop. Shout out to Mr. Hop himself. This is a nice dope tee. Get one yourself. We're all in different shapes and sizes and what you want to call it. So
and colors and stuff.
Nazo. So hit up Mr. Pro. Get yourself a sweater, a cap. Even nice, man. Even nice. Come on.
So we've touched on primary school. We've touched on influence.
Yes,
I feel like we've skipped the part high school because high school is like the 5 years that are most important that help groom you into who you end up becoming.
Yes.
Let's wrap the high school first. Where did you go?
Okay, so for my high school years, I went to Jules High School. It's a Jeepis Town. Shout out to Jules High School under Mr. Van Vieren as the principal.
Jules Kensington.
No, it's in Jeepis Town.
Jeepis Town.
Abaziyo in Skasi, Julius High.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Julius.
High.
Jules.
We had the Scotch ties. Amantombazane had the Scotch skirts. Gents grey pants and red.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I went. Started there in 2015. Grade 8 one. That's where it started. I had a rough start because in Qalem, not January, straight must vula really goal. I think I started towards the end of Jan. After my primary, I struggled to get a high school. Yeah, my God. No ways, no. I'm push, I mean. So but the problem was, with schools, equal fees are due. And obviously, being brought up by a single parent, affordability was never really a problem. It was a problem. So we're looking for a school that was affordable enough, but also still gave the same good quality education that parents want for their children.
Okay.
So we looked at a couple of high schools. Queens was too expensive. GP Boys was also too expensive. Banato had too much corruption on its line.
Double MT.
So eventually we stuck with a Jules High. It was convenient enough. Then I figured a taxi and a bus, and it wasn't too expensive. So yeah, we stuck with that. I got a space. started late in Jan. February actually. So, but there wasn't really much that I missed. But that's when I started.
Yeah.
And then I moved up on it from 2015 all the way to 2019. That's when I matriculated.
All right. Just going back, you mentioned your sister. You mentioned your mom. Pops. Where's Pops in the picture?
Okay. So, growing up, I never really knew my biological father. I had a father figure, my stepfather. Shout out to him actually. He was a good father figure. I actually liked him. He tried to do a good job raising me. Not even tried. I will say he did a good job raising me because I'm not addicted to drugs today. I also owe that to my mom because my step pops, he was actually a good dude. He did a good job raising me actually, and my mom as well. But I never really knew my biological father until later on in my years, as I grew up.
Has that contributed to your anger, or do you like?
Majorly actually, because I think I owe the anger issues to me not knowing my father, not knowing who he was until later on in my years actually, when my mom told me, no, Tamalako is actually this dude, if you want to go see him, we can make arrangements, you'll go see him. But at that time I was too angry, and then Benga from Yombon. And then I stayed for those years until he passed on. So eventually when he passed on, that's when we actually went to his funeral. Because my mom forced me. I said, no, it's or else then it was also later on in life. I didn't know what she meant by that, but then
I'm thankful. Gave you some sort of closure?
Partially. Because the biggest thing is, Lisa needs to grow up with his father, needs to know his father, or at least have a father figure, or Ozobada for yena.
Specifically for Monteslisa.
Yeah, specifically for Monteslisa. I understand they also need father figures, but then they can do fine. They can do just fine when they have their moms. You know, like father, like son. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So, having a father actually, you need someone to help you ride your first bike. Or someone to teach you how to tie your tie. Someone to teach you how to shave. Principles of life. Someone to teach you so most of those things I never got taught. I was taught how to ride a bike. Well, I'm not when I know, so I was never taught how to shave. So and then anything else, other things that I learned throughout my life, I actually owe it to YouTube.
How to?
Yeah, how to. I was lucky enough to know that portal. Okay, there's a how to portal on YouTube. Get that up and search what you want to search. How to tie a tie, how to raise a girl up, how to ride your first bike without falling.
But there's no way you're gonna ride your bike for the first time.
Of course. Bro. But yeah,
but I understand.
Get the idea.
I understand the sentimental value, because you're not saying you missed out on having a father. There was a father figure. I just didn't know who my father was. Yeah, and that leaves a void.
Yes, sir.
But I'm happy that you went to the funeral. I'm happy that you've got partial understanding. Even though we're not on earth to understand them there and then, maybe we'll understand the whys afterwards, later on. But I hope it doesn't feed off of you to make you better for the rest of your life.
No,
it doesn't make you better to a point where you neglect your own in any way, whatever the circumstances.
So okay.
So yeah. I'm a little taken aback. It's quite deep, but
I'm good about it, man.
Yeah.
I still have my mom. I still have someone to lean on. We are very close. I just don't speak.
Sure.
Yeah, well, and I believe I need to hold the fort. So even when something hurts me, it's hard for me to speak about it.
But you need to speak up, because that builds up, and then the day you explode, I want with how this person has been quiet all along. We're thinking he's okay with this thing. Now today is blowing up, you know. So just always have, even if it's not in real time, take 5, 10 a week, a couple of days to sit down, process. Because at times, we end up having to apologize for the things we said and forgo the actual problem. You understand? So kuzogcina ungasi ukuthi ningiphethe kabi, kuyogcina ukuthi mara Sbusiso behave wakanjalo. And then at the end of the day, the same thing you're upset for is going to happen again because it was never addressed.
But the next thing I was now yabona mangikho great. Uzongibiza, yini ngikhuluma nami. And then I'm just that type ukuthi ngikhuluma. I'll deal with it myself.
Sure.
And then go sleep on it, deal with it however way. If it's that bad, then I'll just go find a beat, write a song about it, sing them nandi, sleep, wake up tomorrow morning, it's a new day, good vibes.
Joy cometh in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
High school, what happens after high school?
So after high school, actually, it starts off during high school. So I think it was about grade 10, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I actually started taking music seriously. Because I did a few, I won't say performances or but you know a setting where I'm playing majid and then Galama beats and then people who know how to rap freestyle on them. Till today, I cannot freestyle to save my life.
Yeah.
But I can try. Yeah. If I write it down, then fair. Sure. But like on the spot of the dome, nah, I can't. But when I sit down and write, I think I should have good lyrics. They may be a bit twisted, but that's the beauty behind lyrics. You need to sit down, listen to them, understand them, and eventually when you catch them, you're like, oh shit, this is what he was saying. So during that, we sat down, heard a couple of beats. I'm a guitar rapper, and then I asked one of them to send me one of the beats they were playing. Mnandi, I got them, got home, sat down, wrote something on it, and it was nice. The first song I wrote was Candy Floss, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if I released it. I don't think I released it. I didn't, no? Fair. I first wrote Candy Floss. It was nice. Candy Floss, ooh. It was nice for me at that time. Because, well,
like some auto-tune and stuff.
Yeah, so that was the first song I wrote. A dude that I used to go to school with had a studio near the school. So during us writing exams and stuff, I would go there and record. Yeah, it was a shitty studio. I won't lie. It was a very shitty studio. But it was a start. Yeah. At least we had a mic. Then record ngama earphone la wenta. Not the headsets. Lama earphone la Samsung wakudala. Yeah. Sifaka wona.
Lawa white, lawa ngana bass.
Yeah, wona la. Sifaka wona plug it up, mamele and rap into the mic. Asafake na leshandis le amaqanda ne pantyhose as a pop filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it started.
But this shit could be a fucking pantyhose. It is. Yeah.
So that's where it started, and then the song was mixed and mastered like shit. But for me at that time, because I didn't know
excited, it was your first.
That was my first song. It was nice. I was happy about it, but I didn't release it. And then moved on after that. Post high school, I wrote and recorded Telltale, Torture, and Slime, and there's a song Joyner Lucas did, Snitch.
Oh yeah, I see Snitch. I see Snitch. Where is
But interrogation. I got the beat for that. I downloaded it, wrote something and recorded something, a freestyle or remix sort of on that beat. I released those on SoundCloud actually. So SoundCloud I got into it around 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's where I first released my first sample of music
on SoundCloud.
And then I released something named LGBT. Which is an abbreviation for Let's Get Back Together.
Shit!
But some nuthead out there saw the need to comment on the arty. Hey, this is blasphemy. You can't be doing this. Arty, my guy, it's written LGBT in bold, sharp. But underneath I wrote there, Let's Get Back Together. And listen to the song. I'm not saying anything about the LGBT community.
Hey, because the community will cancel you before you even say cancel.
It's a love song about let's get back together. I also released in Night Sky, which was a nice song for me then. I'd actually like to re-record that song.
Night Sky.
Night Sky. It was a beautiful song. I loved it. I still love it to this day.
So it looks like there's a trend. Every new artist has to sort of position or place or upload their music on SoundCloud. It's like the go-to platform. If you get a reception from that, then it means you're kind of doing the right thing.
At that time, it was a go-to. It was a go-to because there was a thing called SoundCloud rappers. I wanted to be part of that because SoundCloud was popping at that time. I think the highest number of streams I've gotten on SoundCloud was for the Slime song, 157 if I'm not mistaken. If not less.
157 or 157,000?
No, 157. 157.
Yeah.
Excuse me, for me at that time, there was a high number of streams.
Because it's not like 157 people.
Yo, my guy.
Sure.
So I was happy with that. And then, because at that time, I didn't know of any distribution platforms or distributors actually. I thought in Tefunima, with me to sign some record label, them about noise, and then they do your shit for you. So I started with SoundCloud, and then eventually got introduced to a distribution platform, distributor actually. And that led me on to Spotify and all the other platforms then. Yeah.
And with the music now, seeing that you've been led to a distributor that's placing your music all over, I'm sure the numbers are different from the 157. I'm sure the quality of the music has improved. I'm sure there's a bit of reach now.
Yeah.
What's that like? What's that looking like now?
So, to say the least, it's scary actually, number one. Because now you're getting all these streams, you don't know what to do about it. Saying superstar, saying 1,000 streams and
Sure.
but forgetting Gucci,
1,000 streams is what, 10 cents?
Ah, my guy.
Shit.
And Akona, regardless of how many streams you have, there's always someone who has more numbers than you. So the goal is not to chase the streams. It's just to make sure that your music is out there. People know you. People enjoy your music. They understand the message. And then that's just basically why we make the music.
Sure.
And then now transitioning from SoundCloud onto Spotify and all the other platforms, it's different because with Spotify, I think there's more pressure. SoundCloud is like just for playing and jokes, and you just post your shit on there and just see how it does.
Yeah, because now the goal is to monetize and try and make money.
To
out of
monetize.
it,
Of course, we're trying to eat and find. We need to put food on the table. No matter but again, we need to help out the guy. Black tax.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's just pulling your weight.
Of course.
It's just that we like labeling things black text. I mean, if you spend the whole day in studio,
exactly.
Type of thing. So yeah,
it's just to help out the guy. So
sure.
For SoundCloud, it's actually not SoundCloud. For Spotify, it's actually going good now. Spotify and Apple and all these other platforms, it's going good. The music promotions are fine. The streams are good, to say the least. Because hey, for a person who has the number of songs that I have out, to have as much streams as I have,
It's exponential.
yo, it's actually a blessing. Thanks to everyone who streamed my music and who's still streaming my music.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, bafethu ngiyabonga kakhulu, abundantly so. Izandla zivulle ekhanda, siyabonga.
Speaking about the platforms that you're getting onto, let's talk about admin, the admin behind the music, registering with each and every administrator. How much of a toll does that take?
Oh, my guy.
And what are the benefits of doing it?
Uyabona ivideo le kuthiwa fana nyeke ukhuluma izivende ekuseni, you need Red Bull for it. Yeah. It's the same thing. You need Red Bull to do all the admin because it's a lot, man. It's a lot. To think we could see just going to the studio and recording your music there and then releasing it, you're done. You're not. Because you're only gonna make so much off of it. So in a corner, you're not protected. If anyone hears your song and they like the sound, they can just take it. It's not copyrighted. Next, it's just out there. It's free.
Out there, yeah.
So you need to register your music off of Samro, your Sampra, Capasso, all these Risa, and all these other platforms. Make sure you are certified and umnandi. Everything of yours is clean. He can't just take it and sample it and whatever.
That's good.
That's all.
Yeah.
Because if it's just there, Jay, then you're losing so much more. Not just money-wise, you're also losing your sound. Because then if Drake has it, Drake registers it, and then he can say you took it from him.
Because he's a bigger artist.
That's all.
Yeah.
And then that's your credibility down the drain.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the administration and stuff. So how do you then let mom know that this is the dream, this is what I'm doing, and how's the support been?
Okay. So in terms of that, hey, bro, you know black houses.
Yeah.
So how it went was, after high school, I couldn't go to a tertiary, obviously, in terms of funding and stuff. Tried applying for a few bursaries and stuff, but again, either way, your loss, unfortunately. But
yeah, that's the best way to look at it. Actually.
Yeah, because in Pasay praying for it, but I guess it wasn't enough for them. So post high school, I think we forced gap year. So 2019, 2020. That's when COVID hit, but gave a good gap year, so it's fine. So I started kaya for that year, and then didn't have anything. Tried applying for jobs, nothing was coming through. Tried applying for more funding, Yangile nangi Jacob Zuma funding Washabacima tried doing that, nothing went through. So eventually we figured December, sharp. Started off January. Oh, and luckily at that time, because my mom was doing was in an NGO actually, the Breast Health Foundation. Shout out to them actually. My mom was working there, and there was a Helen Joseph at that time. So my mom got a few connects. She knew pharmacy manager, say Helen Joseph. Da spoke to her. Kunjubani, I don't wanna forget her name, man. Theodora, yes. Mom Theodora, man. Shout out to you, man. Big shout out to you, actually.
Yeah.
So she's the one who she spoke to my mom, Bakuluma, and then no, there's a course in NY pharmacy, pharmacist assistant course. But at that time, we had funding.
Okay.
So no, don't worry, Magna funding, I'll tell you, and then you tell your son to come through with all the documents and stuff, and then we'll get him in. And then luckily enough, that came through. That's an Angenage pharmacy. So 2021, throughout the whole of that, moving on to 2022.
Sorry. While all of this is happening, are you still making music?
I was making a bit of music, but yeah. Oh yeah. So Oma, when I introduced the idea of music going, I wouldn't say she received it well. She was okay with it. Mama was like, okay, mtana funa. But at the back of her mind, she was like, exactly. Because she has the mindset to music. Good music industry, they get paid less, they're getting ripped off now. So she wanted me to get a substantial job or sustain. Yeah, she wanted me to get that, and I wasn't really into it. So I didn't mind working just so I got imali to fund my music. But yeah, it's fine, I'll work. So she got me the gig as a pharmacy. I worked there. I enjoyed it, I won't lie. I didn't know I'd like pharmacy, but I actually enjoyed it. It was
in
nice.
A hospital, bro. Yes.
Oh, you come across all these things whereby when you stretcher, emergency reception. It's wild. It's wild.
Fucking wild, bro.
But again, I enjoyed it because I can transition it off into my music. Because when you see all these things, and then the nice thing is when you learn about a pharmacy, you get exposed to all these different terminologies, all these medications and chemicals, and then I can sort of use that to my advantage.
Sure.
So most of my music, if you listen to the lyrics, it's, I'd say, violent for the most part. So you hear about me spinning the block or popping clocks, busting people's jaws and stuff like that. It's seeing people, but say emergency reception, how they were. You get people who come in there, immense. I even walked into one of the other rooms, a resuscitation room once. Yes.
Halfway to heaven, but is that shock thing, né?
Yeah, defibrillator. Use that.
Yeah.
So I walked in there once. So what I was doing there, joining the pharmacy, I'd work in a dispenser, the dispensary section, but that was me dispensing to the wards, not the patients. I worked with my patients later on through the course. So as I was dispensing to the wards, it would usually be in a black box, big black box, medication there. So they send a list, we charge it on the system, and then we put it in that black box, and then we send it off to the ward. So what we did, basically, we need to leave. I was the delivery guy then. So the Nyagulama was the wonke from your psyche wards. Speaking of psyche wards,
yeah.
And then there was this incident once in psych ward Yamachita. Because they separated without a current. You'd swear which they're normal, but again it's the medication they put under. Keeps them calm and cool. So we are getting a grand, Fede put to grand, Nandi, don't go to run. You're born in I'm not calling like him. So I walk in them. There was this one time where, as I was going out, because the doors are sealed, I've run an access card. It's like security and the nurses. Security from Napandle and Yapoma. Not knowing who's going to move. So I'm on the delivery cart in Nandi cruiser, I'm going to go and move. They are pumping, man, your pom, over for now, young Lande. Sing the sick vingle upon, hey. batho.
But I should do some rescue.
It's actually ngamba but yeah, he was a cool. I think the Isaac Kamalaki. He was a cool dude. Jalmanya da yang bulisa crane mang nepondo ngumkaye. If you snake ni
Mario Tengani kuphi ngepondo.
I don't know. Oh, I actually know, but to my bonus.
Oh.
So there's mama visiting hours. Abantu bafika bashiya imali uthi okay le kasibanibani uzoyothenga or uzomthengela whatever. So bekune canteen da. So mabashiya imali, one of the nurses would do the runs, ayothenga igawula for the patients, fika share ama snacks whatever. Yeah, because they bought food, but if they wanted anything else, bebaya bathengela. So there was the incident that happened at Helen Joseph. But now, as I was delivering emergency reception, lo sisi ngimfuna ngimtholi. So but I'm shaking my resuscitation room. I was like, shit, ngena laphana ngibona umuntu laphana umboziwe kwaba to death. But yeah, I gather my guts feeling nyangena. I see lo sisi lo healing ngapha no crane prefuna nginxeba mara na ma pipe and all that shit. Umunye avuswa ngale, umunye khana ngena. Angazi big ingozi yani leya, but ulimele umuntu akhona. Umbathiswe ngama plastic nje nama foil. I think it was a burn wood because
you know, I mean, I might not even sleep after this, but yeah.
But yeah, I go in them and I see all this happening, and in my mind I'm like, shit. So this is actually what life comes to. When the time hits, when something happens, it's bad. Go with that pro. Most people don't even want to go in there.
I've got serious trauma when it comes to hospitals. I witnessed my daughter pass on and go through the most. So when I think hospital, that one image is the one thing that takes over. Yeah. So I've got.
There's a lot of
hate. It's not a love hate. It's a hate relationship with the hospitals, especially public ones, because you've got no say. You're not paying for the service. The service is trash, but you don't know the hours that person is working, how strained they are, how underpaid they are. So it's quite tricky. And
I actually thought the same, but now that I've been in that space and I worked there, I got to see how people work there. Those people work. I'd be lying if I said they don't work or they get paid for job. They work. Umuntu shift ekiphele ngo-4, mara interest ngo-8. Just making sure the patients have enough medication. Makhona short uze ward stock, which was the department.
Let them know what's happening and stuff.
So those people work actually. So now back to what I was saying. I embraced all that trauma that I saw in that emergency room
and turned it into music.
So, but the way I did it wasn't as raw as you get it there. I sugarcoated it a bit so that it's also receivable for most people. Trauma. So you can still listen to it and get the idea, but it's not as hardcore as what I see there. So that's what it's been. And actually,
so your mom said, go work, not knowing what she's pushing you further into music. But yeah, that's another thing. I don't just take anything that I'm put in them and then okay, sharp. I try to find the music side on what I'm doing. So no matter how much I begin a for long feeling over mnandi, but then again to be a studio, I've been hitting it hard with the bros at work, hitting the pickaxe. Hitting the pickaxe on the gravel and type shit. And just try to incorporate it into my music. So that's me sharing my experiences, my life experiences into my music. Bouncing from call center to call center, use that as well into my music. Because I can imagine call center. You know, we look at a lot of things and take them lightly. Each and every experience is important, bro. Yeah. There's a reason why you were there, and there's a takeaway from whatever it is that you go through.
Exactly.
So after having done everything mom was pushing for, and today you are still doing music, has the mindset shifted? Do you have more support? Have you sat her down and explained what to industry? Yes. Excuse me. So industry, yes, there's a lot of fuckery. People, MT for instance, you booked for 80,000, but you're only getting 15,000 at the end of the month. How is she receiving it?
So, excuse me, with my mom I actually had to sit her down. Because umuntu onenkani, I won't lie. She's strict ufuna lento efuna yenzeke.
Sure.
Grensha bekangifuna in a corporate industry. Ngisebenzela government with all the benefits and whatnot. But then again, you as parents, I believe ukuthi don't often choose a route for your children. Unless if you're born he's down and out, nowhere.
Or live vicariously through your children, impose your dreams on them.
Yeah. Because sadly, the sad reality is that most parents never got to do what they loved doing. So they try to instill the same mindset onto their children so that they are happy. It's okay, at least if I didn't do it, my son gets to do it. But then again, we are all born with dreams. So at least try to identify your child's dream and then see if you can embrace it.
Yeah,
in
and
some
or
way.
work around it.
Exactly.
Or work around it. Yeah.
So as she wanted me to work for government, I partially did for a year, I think, or a year and a half or 2 years, roughly, Helen Joseph. But then the urge was still there for me to do music.
Yeah.
So eventually I had to speak to her and tell her, no, ma, this is actually my dream. This is what I want to do. Music is in me. Now, yes, I keep going to the studio and recording and releasing. Before I release, I play the song for you. Now is so that if you see what I couldn't in the studio, then you tell me if I can change it.
Like
I will.
trash.
Exactly. If it's trash, tell me. I appreciate constructive criticism.
Sure.
So I had to sit down and talk to him. No, ma, this is what I want to do. And eventually, I think she got the hang of it. And then I understand, no, this is my son's dream. This is what he wants to do. Let me just give him the rope. As they sing English, give him the rope and let him hang himself.
Yeah.
If I'm going to hang myself, let me do that on my own accord.
Sure.
And then, yeah. But now she's cool, she's comfortable with it. She supports me 100%, I'd like to believe. All is well, man. And then with everything going with me and music, I'm yet to tap into the industry, like the core of the industry, and feel actually being an artist in the industry. Yeah, that's the tough part.
Speaking of the industry, what do you think of the game, hip hop in particular? What is it that's different that you are going to add to it, and what's your biggest fear as well with walking into this industry with so many, I don't know,
so many artists out there?
Yeah, besides the artists, but the mood in the room, so to say. People are afraid of being child money. People are afraid of what are you doing differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving into the industry, how I feel about it right now is that, as most people would say, that now that the most prominent artists in the industry are gone, or they've been quiet and whatever, that hip hop is dead. Sadly for them, Kendrick and the whole beef that happened in the States proved with him hip hop is not dead. Actually, it's still there. And then I think it was a good move, or it was good for that beef to happen, just to show people good to know hip hop is still there. It's a culture that I believe will never die. It's been there before us, it will be there after us. There's been a lot of people in the industry who've done hip hop and switched to a different genre. Different DJs who started with hip hop but moved to a certain genre because they feel it's more lucrative.
It's got hype.
But then again,
but I mean, if it's even back in the day, I'm sure about Ammunition, about Salvin, was it Dr. Salvin? Who was it?
Yeah.
Mr. Salvin,
Mr.
not
Salvin.
Dr. Salvin. They had a challenge with Kwaito as well, because Kwaito was prominent and the Yanos are basically Kwaito, and if those artists can strive then, what's stopping people from striving now during the wave Yamapian? We don't care whether you get a feature that side, but also keep this culture alive.
Yeah, exactly. So I think for Kwaito, the biggest challenge for it was that the biggest supporters were Kwaito. I believe they moved on to hip hop when Kwaito started lacking the feel that they had. So Nika Zabo TKZ, when you had that vibe, Nabo tear gas and all that jazz.
No
Zola, yes.
Half hip hop, half Kwaito. You didn't get it.
Yeah. That sound that people loved in Kwaito, it died off when those artists who were doing Kwaito branched onto other genres, or they passed away and stuff like that. So then again, it builds and grows the hip hop culture. So Ipiano, I don't want to be too controversial about the piano, but yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I feel piano is just another wave in the ocean. It's
lasted longer than most people had given it. I think I was also one of the people that had given it 3-4 years
max,
and now
or 5 years. Not even we need too much hype.
Now
we need to go 2 years.
It's stretching.
Now it's stretching because there's different artists who go into piano because it's the in thing now. But then I feel hip hop will forever be there.
Sure.
I love hip hop. I can't express myself in a different genre other than hip hop.
Because sorry again for cutting in. When you look at piano, you listen to the artists. They have to constantly be releasing the lyrics. Yes, now they're starting to get spiritual. They're starting to get starting to have some sort of depth now. But if you release that song today, next month it's no longer relevant.
It's no longer relevant. That's the sad thing about it. And then hence, what's different in hip hop is that you can release a song now. It won't blow up now, but give it a few years. Like what happened to Eminem. They said the Slim Shady LP was not it.
But two.
LP2.
Yeah.
But then a few years down the line, it was rated with no. That was the shit. Same thing in Recover. No one liked Recovery when it first dropped. Well, not no one liked it, but most people didn't like it, that part of Eminem.
Revival is too...
I liked it. I won't lie. Speaking of Revival, you had your songs like about Chloroseptic. Yo, I love that song. The original Chloroseptic and the part 2, 2 Chainz. Damn it.
I didn't even know he's got a feature with 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
How much I'll give Menemen a chance.
Yeah, of course.
I'll give him a chance.
But that's how I feel with pianos with Dumano. Look what happened in Cholabam. It's not being played as much as it was during its first month of release. Look at what happened to him in the Nige. Now, same thing. We're December. It didn't win the song of the year because it popped off for that month, although those 2 months, and then after that they're looking for the next best thing.
Sure.
But in hip hop, you always have something to go back on. And the nice thing is, when you listen to your music on these different platforms, they recommend something that sounds like that.
Sure.
So that keeps the flow of hip hop going.
That's true.
So me moving into the industry, I don't think there'll be much difference I'm gonna do, but I am hoping to actually make a change in some people's lives because I believe, regardless of the sound or the style, hip hop is still poetry.
Sure.
Regardless of how it may be put, or of course we do speak French in our hip hop songs, but then again, that's also another form of expression.
Sure.
And there's a saying that says, you swear, if you are in pain and you swear, you actually ease that pain. So that's how it is. So what I'm doing different moving into the industry is that, of course, I'm not looking to get ripped off. That's one thing. Number 2, read your contracts. Artists, please. That goes for me as well. Read your contracts. Make sure you understand everything that goes into it, what you're signing onto. I'm not signing J because not but
and if less so slow must understand, get a friend, get a family member, get someone you can trust and be like, dude, I don't want to get fucked over. This is what these people are offering. Even if that person can see Leo 2 million or whatever that they're giving you up front, they don't know what Leo Maleani. But just get someone to read it on your behalf, give you pointers, give you things to try and change. Do not be afraid to ask for help.
Because I won't lie. If a record company came to me a few years back, maybe like 2-3 years back, and offered me a deal, I've never been in bro. But it's full of it now deal, signiga 2 million, or sniggers ama 2, and I'm a single engaki, and then sharp, that's that. So now contract.
And it's all na yung game.
So read your contracts. That's the one major thing. Don't just sign on to anything you don't understand.
Sure.
That's what I'll be doing differently. But in terms of your influence, I'm not sure if I'm going to have much of an influence, but then again, that's for the people to decide. I mean, my job is just to be in the studio, make good music, release it, do the necessary admin, do the necessary promotions, and then just see how people receive it. And then as for influence, we'll just see how that goes. But then again, what I know about myself, and I know what my mom is going to be proud of this too, is I'm not going to be one of those artists uzothi masanginile gaming shiqisise my drugs. And then, not saying it's a bad thing, but it actually is a bad thing.
It's a fucking bad thing.
I take it back. Okay, but then again,
Shit is fast.
but then again, there's different drugs. There's your prescription drugs and there's your over-the-counter drugs. But then again, no drug is a good drug. And again, even those prescription drugs, too much of a good thing is bad.
Anything has a side effect, and some of them are not even written. You should know this. You're
Of course. And as much as they say you can't overdose on calcium, unfortunately you can. So that's what one thing I think my mom will be proud of me about. We'll see, regardless of what the industry throws at me or what I go through in life, I'll be able to control myself and contain myself. I have control over my emotions. I'm not hoping to be a bully in the industry. No man bully you in your high school, but yeah, unfortunately, hey, Van Gogh clap you.
For what? For a girl?
No, my papa. Hey, your papa project, Vana. Yes, besetla scene, and we were cracking jokes, like me being a class clown, a young Jester nyana. And then came this guy at Lasini, Anderson Malanga. Now give him a shout out because that was a fucking slap. Yeah. And then dog, I make a joke about him. I didn't receive it quite well. That's how I know. The sad thing is we last period. That's how we now. And he did that. Mang Puma, Bingafunu Pumet Lasini. Umemata, Ufunu Valada. Miss Mashazi. She knew She knew. I'm
sure she was just letting boys be boys, man.
Congolese, bro. Damn it.
So Shawaile's Andres Mine Cobalt.
But he gave me two of the best. Two of the best. Wam. But me again, wam.
Yeah.
So haste to. But then again, I think that was good with Naming Club because I know things feel like too much. Even now, if you are arguing,
anything we're missing? Anything you think we should be adding?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I think
I'm good. I don't know. Should I close off with freestyle or anything, or should we just keep it neutral?
We can get both freestyles and then make it separate.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want it up straight?
No. Just do it like clearly so. No problem.
Okay, no set.
So you'll just introduce it, like transition it into it, and then.
kind of pause that, and then we'll get a clean shot of that, whatever that.
Yeah, man, I need to close the show.
Okay. So okay. So as you close it, you'll just introduce it onto my part, and then I'll just do. First I'll do my socials, and then I'll do the freestyle, and then we'll close it off.
No sweat. So yeah, this has been another dope episode of Into the Rabbit Hole. I hope you guys learned a lot, especially the young guns that are trying to break into the industry. Just take care of your administration, man. Like the writing, the essays that you were doing in school, just take that and the research. Do you guys still do research?
We do. I mean,
like there's ChatGPT. There's. We used to fucking carry encyclopedias and stuff. So I think we are the last generation that actually did proper research. No, I'm not discrediting anyone and any other generation. I'm just saying that
yours was hard labor.
Exactly. We still had the internet cables that made sound.
Yeah. We have the joy of Google right now. So thanks for Google, I guess.
So yeah, just take care of your admin. Just keep pushing. Yeah, just keep grinding or keep rolling. What's the fucking phrase? Keep what till the wheels fall off. It's been your boy Project Sapotladi. Shout out to the Hop. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. You know the drill. Yeah, and we outie.
No way.
Right.
Kuri Manaka wanthetsa Mruti maine ki batla project mona mo studio Manaka wanthetsa Yeah